So what do you do with that person, that prospect that puts their brakes on? Hey, it's a perfect fit. It's the best deal ever. And they say they're going to come back and they never do? Let's talk about contrast. Let's talk about inaction inertia, where they see a great deal and will never come back until they see that deal again. Car dealerships suffer from this all the time. Deal. People only come in for a sale. They're never going to pay retail. That's the hole they built. That's what they have to deal with. What are you dealing with? Are they expecting a coupon? Are they expecting a discount? Are they expecting a special? Let's talk about it. Let's do it.
Maximize your influence. Kurt Mortensen is the author of Persuasion IQ, Laws of Charisma, and the best-selling book, Maximum Influence.
Welcome to Maximize Your Influence. This is podcast 580. What can we do in the world of persuasion and influence when their expectations are $100 and your expectations are selling it for $1,000? That can definitely be a challenge. Thanks for being here as we get into Human Nature 101, as we talk about the things that make a huge difference in your success in your life and your persuasion and the things that you do. Of course, I've said it before, the things we should have learned in school, or at least on the streets. Because we've all had that frustration. It was perfect. It was a done deal. It was going to solve all their problems. It was going to bring them relief. It was at a great value, probably the best on the market, the best value on the market, and they don't do it. They need to think about it. They bought a more expensive item from a competitor. What happened? What's going on? Let's get into it. So we'll start today, since this kicks us off with everything we'll be talking about, our listener email.
Oh, boy!
This is Dot from Pennsylvania in the United States. Remember, Dot, you get the gold version of InfluenceUniversity.com. Check that out at influenceuniversity.com/special. That's the 90% off a lifetime membership. Everything you need, from the 52-week to the persuasion software that persuades for you, to all the audios, the videos. Go as fast or as slow as you want. The library is on there. Check that out. Or you just get started. Everything you want at MaximizeYourInfluence.com, from your free Persuasion IQ assessment to our training programs. So Dot's in retail. She says, love and maximize your influence. Keep it up. I've implemented the smile in my retail, and it does increase sales 20%, probably more than that. You're right, very contagious, very disarming. One thing I've noticed that some people, once you offer a sale or a discount, people want to wait for the next one, even if you tell them the next one is not coming. You let them know that's a once-in-a-lifetime offer, or inflation's hitting, it still doesn't matter. I don't see them come back. What can I do? So, Dot, let's first tackle the geeky Scarly article. Now, the term I've always heard is inaction inertia. Scientific term, they always come up with these fun ones. This article is based on regret-based procrastination. I mean, we can call it initial loss aversion, missed opportunity paralysis. Everybody has their name. I'm going with inaction inertia, but on this article, we'll talk about regret-based procrastination. Again, same thing. This comes from the Journal of Economic Psychology. I know it's next to your bedstand. So what they looked at was linking regret to procrastination. So when you regretted your decision, regretting putting it off, you procrastinate it even more, especially with things like financial behavior. So we live in a world where saving money is important, retirement's important, meeting deadlines is important, saving for retirement's important. That shapes our financial stability, our well-being, our future, our retirement. But there's a lot of regret-based procrastination. So it shows how past regrets, not getting into that stock, not investing earlier, not starting a retirement account when you needed to, can paralyze us to future actions, leading to cycles of inaction. So this bias, where we have that sting of missing out, we should have got in, we had a better chance, again, not saving early, blocks us from even looking at current viable options. And they say this costs us millions and billions of dollars in lost growth. So why does this happen? Well, it's emotional avoidance. When people miss an attractive initial opportunity, getting in at the ground floor, that creates regret and cognitive dissonance, what we've been talking about. Remember, a discrepancy for what you do and what you believe. Make any action in the future a painful reminder of your failure, a reminder of the past. That emotional weight of what could have been, what you could have earned, what you could have done, that you could have retired earlier, outweighs the rational, the rational benefits of acting now. So basically, we're dodging the discomfort of regret over long-term financial gains. So they actually surveyed 19,000 adults and measured what they called their saving regret and the correlation with their procrastination, their delayed financial planning. And the key finding was 58% of respondents expressed saving regret with higher rates while they were younger, and those that regretted the past savings were 20% less likely to adjust their behaviors. They regretted it, but they didn't do anything about it. Interesting. So do you suffer from this? That regret, I should have bought Microsoft, I should have bought Apple, I should have bought Bitcoin, I should have. Hey, there's still some great deals out there, but is that holding you back from any decision that you make? And that's what we'll be talking about, your prospects. They saw a sale, they saw a deal, they saw a special on the internet, which wasn't even true. It was probably a bait and switch, but they saw it. That cemented the expectation in their brain. That's their anchor point for that product, for that service. Now that's what they want to pay, and they're not going to pay, even though it's a good deal in the current market, because they once saw something that they should have bought. They were going to buy, but they didn't buy. So let's talk about that, work into that. But before we do, we haven't done our persuasion blunder. Homer?
Don't!
Now, this doesn't have much to do with what we're talking about today, but we got to do a blunder. I received a book in the mail. So as a college professor, I get lots of books to review. They want me to use it in my class. And as an author, I get books too. People want me to endorse it, to critique it. So one of the things that's very important with books and understanding the digital age is that if you get a book off Amazon, as an author, you don't know who that is. So I get this collegiate book. It has this intense back-end LMS, learning management system with videos online, but there was no way for them to track me and enrolling. So in the book, there's a special form with the code to get online. I'll admit I didn't put my real name and email. I didn't want to get hounded. But now, showing some interest, they don't know who I am. So if you're giving out a free report, someone's buying a book, how do you know who they are? You have to provide ways for you to know. On this form, they could have easily put in a specific code just for me that was linked to my name, to my address, but they didn't. It was a generic code for everyone that wanted a free trial. It could be in a report to get their email before you send it. It could be in your book, hey, come to my website for a free report, for a free audio. You have to do something to make sure that when you are doing marketing, when you're sending something out for free, that you have a way to track them down, to see who's raised their hand and saying, yes, I'm interested. So the blunder is a lot of people send it out. They'll put an email address in there, but okay, or a website, okay, but give me something to get me excited, to get something for free, to give you my name and email and maybe phone number, because I'm really interested. You've proved your worth with your information. This could be a podcast. This could be a book, audio, website. Your goal is to find out who is interested. I know a lot of authors have sold a lot of books and have a lot of raving fans. They just don't know who they are. And it's hard to market to them, especially when you're coming out with a second and third book. They like the first one, but they don't even know you came out with a second and third one. Just saying, just putting it out there. Give them an easy, fast, fun way, something that they need and want to give you that information. So let's go back to this inaction inertia, taking the brakes off your prospect. Let's talk about this inaction inertia. So it comes from Tycho Siniski and Dr. Payne and Tuttle, and was in the Journal of Consumer Research. Basically, it's a behavioral bias where people avoid taking action after missing an initial opportunity, even when a similar or better opportunity is still available. So like I talked about, regret compounds inaction. When you have high regret from earlier choices, not going in, not purchasing when it was on sale, again, it could be financial, it could be a product, it could be a service. This creates inaction. This creates dissonance. Not getting there before the sale ended, not doing it before the stock went up, not doing it before the deadline can trigger this inaction inertia. So you got to do things that minimize regret. So you can see this happening with your prospect. I didn't buy it when it was cheap, so now I won't buy it all, even though I still want it. Again, it's that regret for missing out, little avoidance behavior. And this makes no logical sense, but again, we are emotional creatures. We are not thinking creatures that feel, we are feeling creatures that think. So we talked about the financial side, but imagine you saw a laptop that was for sale for $600 and you didn't buy it. Then it went back to $1,000, you had that regret. A week later, it's $700. That's still a good deal, and they tell you it's never going to go back to $600 again, and you still don't buy. Why? Because that laptop might always remind you, oh, I could have got it for $600. I wasted $100. So you do nothing and you miss out on the $700 deal too. So bottom line, inaction inertia, letting a missed chance opportunity can paralyze your future moves or your future prospect from making a decision. Again, not logic. It's emotion disguised as a reason. It's not even a good, valid reason, but that's the reason they use. So this matters in persuasion, influence, sales, even negotiation. When you take an offer off the table, it can kill the deal. So when a prospect hesitates, misses out, maybe they procrastinated, maybe life caught up, maybe they forgot about it, they freeze. And you have to unfreeze them. Because the studies show the larger the initial discount, the less likely they are to buy later. This hijacks their brain. So let's talk about ways to fix this. How do you get past this? How do you beat this? Well, get them to focus on the present deal, not the past. Get them to the future. Let them know, yeah, that was a great deal. It went fast. There weren't a lot available. But you have to understand supply chain and inflation, things have changed. Things are going up. It'll never get back to this price. This is probably the best you're ever going to see. Maybe you need to explain your business cycle. If you're buying an air conditioner in the summer, as you know, that's going to be a different price than the price you saw installing it in the winter or early spring. Let them know the reason why. Remember, the brain needs to know why. And maybe ask them, or if it's happening to you, ask yourself, would I have taken this offer if I've never seen the first one? And if the answer is yes, get them to buy. Get yourself to buy. And then there's the reset rule. A new opportunity every day. Prices change. Prices are going up. Inflation happens. It's time to take action. So what that does, it removes the emotional anchor of the missed deal. They can get past their regret. And maybe you need to tell them. Say, sure, you missed out on that early bird special, but you know what? This particular model, this particular offer includes live coaching, which we've never offered before. Sure, you missed out on this, but now we have this new name, this new bonus, this new deadline, whatever it is. Repackage it so it's a little bit different. It's not quite the same as what they missed out on. And along those same lines, offer an upgrade, a higher tiered version. Now, this would be at a slightly higher price, but again, they can't compare it to the old one. It has those exclusive perks. It's a little bit different. It's a little bit more. But now they don't have to regret the past one because this one's bigger, better, nicer, and has more value. And then always I talk about the story. When you have a prospect hitting those brakes, getting some resistance, you need to have a relevant story that's ready. Maybe a regret reversal story. Share a testimonial from someone who joined late but still won. Everyone's thinking you have to get in early, and that's not true. Is it too late to get an Apple, Microsoft, Bitcoin? No, it's never too late. If you look at the charts over time, they all grow, and you have to share that with them. So that normalizes the late action, reduces the regret, and increases value. You could say, yeah, John missed out on the $1,000 Bitcoin, got in at $10,000, and now it's worth $100,000. Tell the story, paint the picture, let them know it's worth it now, and it's critical to take action now. Another potential one, depending on your product or service, what you're working on, even your negotiation, is the FOMO, little scarcity. You've got to crank that up. Again, scarcity is very short term. It's very powerful. It's one of the 12 laws of persuasion and maximum influence. This is you have to create new urgency that's unrelated to that old offer. Shift their focus from I missed out, it's coming back, to no, you need to act now. That other one's not coming back. There's 3 spots left. The sale's good for 48 hours. The class closes tonight. This negotiation offer is good for 1 week. Supply chain's hitting, inflation's hitting. That's as long as I can hold it. Gave them the why. And reboot that FOMO, reboot that scarcity. Get them out of the past and into the future. Now, I'm talking a lot about that past to the future. How do we do that? Micro commitments, FITD. Remember, foot in the door, getting the tiny yeses. That rebuilds momentum. Bring them back. They're no. Let's start with small yeses. Do you see how this can benefit you? Do you see how this can make you more money? Do you see how this software will solve fill in the blank? We know that small actions, small yeses reduce psychological resistance. Let them know this is going to make a difference in their life. It's going to solve their problem. It has all the benefits that they're looking for. Get some small yeses along the way. Build them all the way up to the final yes where they say, yes, I'm going to buy. Another one here is you might need to go back to law of contrast, another one of the laws of persuasion where they need to flip their anchor, their price anchor. So maybe before you drop the price again, so let's say you're at $697, it was $597 2 months ago, that's what they're looking at. No, start at $12.97. It's gone up. Tell them why it's gone up, what's happening. Tariffs, inflation, supply chain, you name it. Let them know why. $12.97. Start high. That's the retail. That's the value. Think of car dealerships. They always use the retail price first, the big price so they can go down. And some people pay that. You have to start big because if you don't start big, you can't move down. So if you start at $12.97 and then go to $6.97, that kind of erases the $5.97 they missed, and it helps them reset their anchor. It flips their anchor price and shows that $6.97 is an incredible deal. They need to act now. So your goal with this is to help them feel they're getting a great offer. It's not available forever. You have to use some scarcity and urgency. And now's the time to take off the brakes and make the decision. If they're still sitting on the fence, they're still giving you excuses, they're still resisting you, try a guarantee. Guarantees are incredible when they're sitting on the fence. I would never lead with a guarantee unless it's a time guarantee, like, hey, give me 10 minutes of your time, I guarantee. That's okay. But if you're guaranteeing your product or service, go big. Go to the archives and listen to the podcast on guarantees. They dramatically increase sales when people are sitting on the fence. It eliminates fear. They're not wasting money. It's okay they missed out in the past. This is still a great deal. I've got the guarantee. 100% money back in 60 days, no questions asked. Go big, go home. Make it simple. You want them to think, I've got everything to gain and nothing to lose with this guarantee. So if they're still sitting on the fence, have a great guarantee. And some people get squeamish here. Oh, guarantee, what if they take advantage of it? Tell you what, when I'm selling coaching or influence training programs, I say, look, this is going to double your income in 6 months. If not, I'll not only refund your money, no questions asked, I will double it. When I've used that guarantee, it doubles and sometimes triples my sales. Now, is there that one person that will love it? It increased their income. They duplicate it and still send it back. Sure, but if it's doubling and tripling what you're doing, a great guarantee is a powerful thing. Now, it depends on your industry, depends on laws and what you can promise and your disclaimers, but a powerful guarantee or a personal promise can get them off the fence. So bottom line, this inaction inertia, missed opportunity paralysis, regret-based procrastination, whatever you want to call it, or your prospect is resisting you, put the brakes on because they've seen a better opportunity, whether it be yours or somebody else's, it isn't about price. It's about pride and pain. So take care of it, get those brakes off with some fresh perspective, upgraded offers, getting them to the future, readjusting their anchor, and you'll finally get them to say yes. That's our podcast for today. Make sure you subscribe to our email at maximizeyourinfluence.com. You can have access to the specials under podcast 580, influenceuniversity.com lifetime membership. That's where I put all my training programs. You have access to those. Check them out at influenceuniversity.com/special. The podcast can be found on Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio, and Audible. Tell your family and friends about the podcast. Do appreciate your feedback, your love, your questions. Send your questions to maximizeyourinfluence@gmail.com. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you want to hear about. Take something you learned today, apply it, use it, become a better negotiator, a better influencer, a better motivator. Get those brakes off your prospect and go out and persuade with power.